Fiberglass is alive. Swing it and snap it, feel the vibe. Thoughtful Thursdays, oh hey, hey. Designed into the rhythm of nature, they say.
Top 10 Landscape Design Trends for 2025. Brought to you by Nature's Rhythm Learning Studio. As we head deeper into 2025, homeowners across the Carolinas are reimagining their outdoor spaces with a blend of elegance, sustainability, and function. Whether you're planning a full backyard transformation or refining your front entry, staying on top of the latest landscape design trends can help you get the most from your investment. Here are the top 10 landscape design trends we're seeing this year.
All right, guys, we're live at the Nature's Rhythm Learning Studio. I know we brought this up a while ago, but now we're actually here. Every Thursday, we're going to post episodes on our YouTube.
Yep.
And if you go on our website, there is a Learning Studio tab, and that will have basically a little overview breakdown of everything we talked about. If you found the topic interesting, like take a little more notes about it, or have a little printout of the notes. It'll all be there.
We'll see what we're up to. Go check it out.
So, Jesse.
Yep.
What are we talking about today?
Today we'll do the top 10 design trends for 2025 in the landscape.
And of course, we have to start with number 10, right?
Yeah, start at the bottom, work our way to the top. Right.
All right.
Mountain.
So,
what's number 10?
At number 10, customized fire elements.
Mm-hmm.
Fire elements are being reimagined with custom stonework, gas hookups, and integrated seating. They're no longer an afterthought, excuse me. They're a centerpiece.
An astronaut. That's someone who went to space a long time ago? I don't know. Okay. An afterthought. You're right. And I think this is definitely a thing. We've done a few of these recently. There's different ways, whether that is a custom, like I said, built on a stone or masonry of some sort, and you end up with whatever shape you end up with. There are custom cast concrete versions of these.
Nice smooth finish.
Nice smooth finish. That's right. You can get the stainless steel, patinaed steel. There's a lot of options. And I think, anytime, one of the cool things we like to see that people are doing is mixing the fire and the water. So you've got some fire at the corners of your pool, or maybe you've got a water feature that's got a little fire coming out the center. There's all kinds of fun stuff people are doing that really
like
nice.
To juxtapose elements, guys.
That's right. Yeah. Fire and water. Those essential elements: earth, wind, fire, water.
That's right. All right.
Number 9.
What do we got?
Climate conscious design. Designs now factor in extreme heat, drought, and heavy rain. From shaded sitting areas to rain gardens and dry creek beds, climate resilient strategies are now standard practice.
All right. So our producer does a good job with these outlines. I think it'll forever remain a mystery.
You'll never know.
But as far as this one goes, I think it's just due diligence as far as any designer goes to be climate conscious. It doesn't necessarily have to be a doomsday prepper.
True.
But you got to understand that your design needs to work with the climate. Right here, the last couple of years has a pretty intense summer. So how do plants adapt to that? And a lot of people don't know it's ongoing research. You have different cultivars of plants because we realize some plants do better in certain conditions than others. You get these new cultivars, a new plant, just like new products in any field.
Right.
And so you always stay to the latest trends to make sure that your design is resilient and handle the elements that it's in.
You got cutting edge.
Cutting edge.
Yep. I think anytime you're designing an outdoor space for someone, you have to take the climate into consideration, whether that's a climate change situation or just what it is. You're in a hot area, so don't put a metal slide out in the middle of a field to get baked on all the day, because no one's going to want to play on that. It's hot. So all those considerations go into account, I think.
So speaking of edible,
number 8.
There's actually liquid in this cup this time.
There is.
Shout out to the last episode and my mother-in-law, who liked to call me out on the fact that my mug was empty.
Got you this
Guess
time.
what, Michelle? There's some liquid in it. Anyways, edible integration, Jesse. You're all about this. Edible plants are making their way out of the veggie patch and into decorative beds and front yards. Think blueberries as hedges, rosemary borders, and espalier fruit trees on fences. I told you I said espalier last time.
He's good with the German and the Spanish, but the French trips him up every time.
That's right. We're good at Spanish and German. I don't do that. Monsieur.
Do a croissant. Yeah, so the edible integration, I like this. I think there's a lot of factors that pushing people this direction. Whether that's food's expensive, why not grow some of my own? To I spend all day in an office. I like to connect with nature somehow. Come home and pick some tomatoes out of my front bed would be kind of fun and make a salad. Go home and get some thyme and some rosemary from my garden and add it to my roasted chicken. You know, it all makes a lot of sense. I like this idea. I wish there was more of it. Yes, sometimes you get a mess of peaches under your peach tree. You got to go clean up. I've got some right now. Not that big of a deal. The squirrels come around, which my dog likes because then she gets to chase the squirrels. Good time.
All right, number 7.
Number 7. Dark, moody hardscapes. This year we're seeing a shift from light grays and beiges to charcoal, black, and slate tones in pavers, decking, and fences. These tones pair beautifully with lush green plantings and create a modern edge.
All right. I think that follows the trends we're seeing architecturally. If you drive around Greenville, there's a lot of these, what we call modern, really could be contemporary homes. A lot of rectilinear forms, different materials, usually out of concrete, some composite material. So what blends really well with that? Usually your dark tones, because that has kind of that crisp look that you're looking for.
Right.
Kind of a chic style. So we can see the trends headed that way.
True. And I do like a dark leaved tree with a slate stone path underneath it. That's a good look.
It's definitely nice. It's kind of funny because with the moody landscapes, you can also have a gardenia, which is a very elegant looking plant.
That's true.
So there are plants that have characteristics of elegance, silly, a little rough looking, very clean, crisp looking. So it's all stuff.
Check out the Harry Lauder's walking stick. That's a fun tree. That's got
very fun
character.
tree.
That's a characterful tree. Is that a word, characterful? I don't know. It works.
It works.
You know what I meant. Number 6, dude.
Number 6, bold plant massings. Minimalism is out. Bold sweeps of ornamental grasses, flowering perennials, and large-scale foliage are in. It creates rhythm and structure while still feeling natural. Give me your thoughts.
This is an interesting one. I think anytime you go out in nature, you don't see one fern growing over there all by itself. There's usually a mass of ferns because that area suits itself to ferns to grow there. And they've gotten a hold and they've kind of taken over. And then next to that, you'll see a massing of something else. Maybe that's rhododendrons or whatever. So I think this mimics nature more closely than some of the more minimalist designs. It also, although it can look like it's more maintenance, in reality, it tends to be less maintenance because the more massing of plants you do, the less weed you have growing in places. And so anytime you see a lot of mulch, you should also see a lot of maintenance because the plants do the work for you when you put plants you want there. So I like this one. This is a good idea.
Very good. Power on to number 5.
Good. Gravel and permeable surfaces. Gravel patios, decomposed granite paths, and permeable pavers are in high demand for their modern look and environmental benefits. They reduce runoff, support drainage, and can often be easier to maintain than traditional concrete.
So that's an interesting one as well because as products become more readily available and mainstream, they become cheaper, right? Yeah. So concrete was always the go-to because quick and easy. You just pour the concrete, usually throw a broom finish on there, and you're done. You call it a day. What we've begun to understand is that a lot of pavers and all these permeable surfaces, help a lot more with runoff, so the water percolates more. We avoid catastrophes downriver. But it's also a lot more aesthetic than concrete, and pavers tend to be more durable as well. With the right paver. So,
especially if you get the wrong concrete.
Yeah.
Not good.
So I'm a big fan of pavers, love permeable landscapes and hardscapes areas because it's good to absorb all that water, and the aesthetic, you can do a lot more with all those different materials in your palette than just straight concrete.
100%, right. Pavers and gravel. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. I like it. All right, number 4.
You got it this time. Smart irrigation and lighting systems. Sustainability meets convenience with smart controllers and low voltage LED lighting. Clients now manage their entire outdoor systems from their phone. No more guessing when or how long to water. Jesse, irrigation systems and
I think
lighting.
it's about time they got smart. Now, I think irrigation has a place. I think there's at times been overused, and people just put it in their yard when maybe they didn't need to use it, or usually in their flower beds or their beds around their house. And we have better ways of irrigating than what we had in the past. So whether that's with an app on your phone and you're controlling all that on your phone, or that's just being smart with where and how you're using irrigation. I think anytime you are adding some intelligence to irrigation, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, and oftentimes those rotor heads will spray on the street or the sidewalk, and so we often like to say drip irrigation is a lot better
100%.
because it'll drip. It takes time to percolate through the plant, and so it's a lot better watering.
It's a lot more efficient watering.
Yeah, because when you're just spraying on a plant, that water starts moving, and it doesn't actually take time to actually soak up the soil and actually water the plant. So drip irrigation is what we push for sure.
And lighting changes everything about your lawn at night. So if you're looking at redoing your landscape, do not forget about lighting. It just makes a very dramatic change to your landscape at night. Would recommend 10 out of 10.
All right, we're heading to the top three.
Top three. Here we go. Number 3, naturalistic water features. Gone are the days of overly formal fountains. Think koi ponds, recirculating streams, or basalt rock bubblers. Features that blend seamlessly with planting beds and mimic nature.
So in case y'all haven't checked it out already,
In which case, what are you doing?
Right. We just finished a really cool project where we did make a custom water feature, and it's not as hard as you guys would imagine. I do see the trend often of not wanting your traditional water feature. That's your round fountain with the spigot and everything. It just doesn't seem to be what's in vogue right now. A lot of people want something that blends a little more seamless with their landscape. So we've actually recently done the job where we got a custom boulder, and well, it's not a custom boulder. We just went out and selected the boulder from a quarry and made it a custom fountain because we drilled a hole through it, ran a water line, have a reservoir underneath it, and now it looks like almost a natural spring. So it's a water fountain that functions as a fountain, but also a bird bath while seamlessly integrated into the design. So it'll catch your eye when you look at it, but it's not too abstract to look like it doesn't belong there. So
and that one in particular is very cool. The shape of the boulder, they had a little dip in the middle, and that's where you put the hole. Now we've got a small pool there, and that's brought in the birds. Our client sent us a picture the other day, and it had probably 5 or 6 robins playing in the water while the fountain was running, which was exactly what they were looking for. They wanted their birders, and they wanted to see more birds, and it worked. So you should have one in your yard. Other cool thing, this boulder was huge. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be a boulder this big. It can be a stack of boulders or slate rocks. There are all kinds of ways to make this. So no matter the space, we got you.
Number two.
Functional
outdoor rooms. Yes. We're blurring the line between indoors and out with spaces designed for cooking, relaxing, dining, and even working. Pergolas, built-in seating, and lighting help create clear zones within a unified design. Pro tip: outdoor rooms work best when scaled to match your architecture and lifestyle. Jesse, tell me about outdoor rooms. What is this?
They're rooms that are outdoors. I don't know. So maybe it's a kitchen. That's probably the thing you've seen the most. We've all seen a back porch, which is kind of like a living room. And we've all seen the back porch that has no shade ever, and it's in South Carolina, and people want to hang out there in August, and they don't know why they can't. So that's not really a room. That's more like a nothing. So there are things that you can do to make those outdoor spaces more welcoming to you and to your guests, maybe your kids, to get them out of the house. I like the outdoor rooms. I like the kitchens. My favorite part, obviously. Those are my favorite outdoor rooms or indoor rooms. Those are my favorite. If you want to extend your house into the outdoors and use that land that came with your house, then yeah, figure out how to make some functional outdoor rooms. And if you're competing, let's say in 5 or 10 years, with your neighbors to sell your house, and you have the same size house, but yours extends into your backyard, and you have this usable space, you win the competition.
And it's also important to understand that your yard can and should be an extension of your home.
Yes.
So don't think of your landscape as a separate element, but understand that it should be an extension of your home. And we like to emphasize that when we're programming it. So we understand what your needs are. You design something that actually works for you. And you think of your outdoor space as outdoor rooms that are an extension of your own home.
There you go. Do it. Do it to it.
Who's number one? Number one.
Drum roll. Native plant palettes. Sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's a necessity. Clients are leaning into low maintenance native plants that thrive in the southern climate, support pollinators, and reduce the need for irrigation and chemicals. There's a lot of them. Go check them out.
Yeah, native plants. Native, we've gone back and forth. It's kind of relative. But
it's a bit of a relative term.
What we like to emphasize, and I think what this is highlighting, is the low maintenance aspect of native plants. So native plants are lower maintenance aspects because they have traits that allow them to thrive in this area because they've already adapted to it. So we like to start with native plants, but we're never against using other plants so long as their characteristics are also in tandem with the native plant. There's no reason we feel that you shouldn't use them so long as they are not invasive. They're also low maintenance.
Yeah.
They perform well, and they can cohabitate with all the other plants around.
Yeah.
And so it's a case of right plant,
right place.
That's right, everybody. We like to harp on that because it is important, and as you can see, it is the number one trend. So right plant, right place, guys.
And I think a lot of what the low maintenance here also means is no babying. You don't have to. It's something you have to care for constantly over the years.
But fertilize it 4 times a year. Something
crazy. You're not out there doing that. It's a plant that it's here. It belongs here. Whether that's the red buds, the wax myrtle is another one. It just grows and loves it here.
Your sweet spires.
The sweet spires. There's a lot of fun options out there that are native and that are beautiful, but by no means do we feel like you're restricted to native, and we would never ever restrict you to native plants only.
That's right. All right, that is the top 10 landscape design trends for 2025.
That's right.
Again,
we can do them all. We got them all. If you want them, we can do them. Just come to us.
So if you guys like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and every Thursday, go ahead and tune in, and we'll hit all topics that are landscape, plant, design, whatever it may be. Go ahead and send a comment if you guys want us to discuss a topic that is on you guys' mind and want to learn about it a little more. We're happy to discuss those things. So
I think there's a bell also. You click the bell.
That's right.
And it lets you know.
Every Thursday, you can come hang out with us for a little bit.
You could comment. That'd be awesome. That'd be very helpful if you were to comment and ask us questions. 1, because we like to hear from you, but 2, then more people will hear about us because you commented on our video. So please do that too.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Peace out.